We're live. So, Nini, we're back, brother.
What's up, man? Thank you,
what's
Chris,
been
for
going
having
on?
me second time, man.
I think this is going to be a regular thing.
What do you mean?
Like, I think we want to have you on regularly.
Are you going to put me on payroll?
Nah.
Why not?
No.
Regularly?
You're gonna be like those advisors, and shit. A consultant, a soccer consultant.
Hey, you better have 1099 me, dude.
No chance.
I ain't trying to pay
This
more
is a
taxes.
pure donation of your time
Yes,
to the soccer.
for the love,
I'm willing
to
to
the
do that
soccer
for you,
community.
Chris.
Yeah.
Just for you.
for the love of the sport, bro.
Dude, so
Hey, I like your shirt, man.
Thank you. Means a lot. We're
Where'd you
dropping
get
it
that at?
soon. I got it at Solid Goods.
Ah.
It was well
But
done.
where can you buy one at?
Oh, where can you buy?
Because I want to buy one at full price.
at
Yeah.
full price.
Absolutely. You can buy one starting next week
Where at?
on our website, or
What's
soon
the
we'll be
meaning?
opening.
What's the meaning behind that shirt?
We're gonna get deep.
Deep,
into
hella
it.
deep.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let me
Look-
interview you for a little for a
Man,
trade.
I was about-
Oh, whoa! He
I
turned
was-
the tables.
I was
This guy-
about to start asking him some cool soccer questions because I know a lot of people are like,
I'm
"Man,
not ready for that yet. Let me get warmed up a little
Oh man, so we gotta go. Deep. Well, let's get emotional before
Yeah,
we start
before-
talking about soccer. Look, it's colorectal cancer awareness month, March.
Mhm.
March 5th was the day where people wear blue, and so obviously I have somebody deeply connected in my life that's battling this,
Yeah.
and clearly difficult for a lot of people. And there's
sure,
there's
man.
a lot of people out there who are in this cancer fight, you know.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
And
I totally understand, man. It's
yeah,
it's
and that's
tough
what the
thing.
shirt's about. So
Yeah.
the
Heck
shirt
yeah.
says fight,
Heck yeah.
you know,
That's
and
dope, man.
on the back it says another phrase,
Heck
you know,
yeah.
it talks about familia, right?
Yeah.
And like we're all in this together,
Heck
you
yeah,
know.
man.
So Fuego wants
Trust
to
me.
show that we're in
Yeah,
the fight too.
fine.
They support.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm buying one, I guess. Now that you
Looks
sold
like
it
it,
really
yeah.
well,
Yeah,
I
looks
guess
like
I-
you're gonna buy more than
I'm
one.
like,
You better buy a
man,
couple.
You just gave me a commercial right now, like
Yeah.
woo.
You wanted to
that
go
would
deep.
hit me.
You
That
go-
would
he-
hit me.
Nini wanted to go deep, so now Nini, we're gonna go
Let's
back
do
to
it,
you,
let's do
back
it.
to you, back to the soccer. What's up?
Man, okay.
Jose
look,
over
so-
here, man. Instigator, professional instigator.
Well,
Hell
good
yeah.
transition. Good transition.
God.
Man,
Thank
so,
you, Jose, for that.
Yeah, appreciate it. bro. So
Yes.
scouting, recruiting at the junior college level. We just saw Danny Trejo make
Man.
it to the MLS
Valley.
first round. Like, whoa,
And that's
whoa.
a big kind of statement that young footballers are doing now here in the Valley. You know, they're kind of putting a word out there to everyone else that there's talent in the Valley, man. You know that was a big thing for us in the soccer community.
Why do you think that that's so deeply needed like that?
Yeah.
You know, to
I'll
see
tell you
somebody
one thing.
get to the highest rank and be like, look, there's somebody from our hometown. Why do you think that's such a big deal here?
Well, because it's not like publicized how it was before, right? There's social media. There's more of a outlet for the word to get spread or go viral.
Yeah.
I just think that there was a lot of talent here that was not exploited or they didn't have the opportunity to have some tryouts or whatever, so
More exposed
so
than exploited. Yeah.
And why wasn't that the case before? What happened? What was happening that and people just skipped the Valley? We had a lot of great.
not the Valley. I think it's more of a national thing as well too, right? MLS was just it's not that old,
Okay.
so there was minimal teams. The USL wasn't as strong. It was dominant East Coast, so there was not a lot of West Coast connections,
Like
right?
opportunities. There weren't that many
man.
roster
So
spots.
thinking about how many
for
colleges
players,
in
yeah.
California and universities in California
A lot.
that have men's soccer
Mm-hmm.
and San Jose and the Galaxy, right?
Yep.
And Chivas
And
USA
Chivas,
came
yeah.
after. That's three
But really,
teams.
really
that-
only two.
right?
for the
Those
most
two
part,
teams
yeah.
that have to potentially cover 32 roster spots, or they
Oh,
used
I
to
see.
have kind of like a developmental league, like a second team, and that took another probably 24 spots or so. I don't, so
Right.
it's tough, man. You think about it, it's a slim chance.
So now there's a lot more opportunities.
most definitely.
So kids are getting an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to play on more PDL teams, play on more, League One team coming
Mm-hmm.
here. I mean,
Exposure.
from your time to now, which is really only like maybe 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, true, man.
Within the last 10 years.
11, yeah, 11 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Yeah.
you played for that
A
long.
little
with
bit,
the-
yeah.
with Fuego.
Once I was, my knee just couldn't sustain anymore. I just made the choice to stop.
Yeah.
But
But
at
where
that
did
time-
you still wanted to be a pro, even though there wasn't that many spots.
yeah.
So
for
what
sure.
did you do?
I actually it was one game that kind of catapulted me to get seen, man. There's people asking after a Chivas USA game, and I took the chance, man. I took the chance with people supporting me, local people that kind of gave me money for my flight, things like that, man. That really good friends of mine that I will always remember that. So and I took the chance and I went and I did it, man. So
it seems like there's a lot of people out there that you see some of those connections where it's like, hey, this guy. I remember even when I was going to Edison, I saw a lot of football players. It was like, man, like my uncle, my buddy, my whatever, like they helped me buy my pads. They sent me to this camp. Like there's people in the community looking out for each other, like big time,
for sure.
Big time. For sometimes kids that aren't even theirs.
Well, I think a lot of it too, it comes with like the passion towards that sport, right? Someone that wanted it so bad as well. And when they see talent, they want to help them, right? They want to, if there's something that I can do for you, then sometimes now with so many rules is illegal, right? You can't give a kid a ride to practice. You can't do this. You can't do that because it's all regulations, and where you are just trying to really help this guy because he has potential, right? When you see potential, you want to help. And if I have the time and I can help someone, I'm gonna do it, right? Yeah. But it's tough nowadays too with all these rules, and so I think that's where a lot of people kind of see themselves in talent sometimes, especially if they play the same sport. So they'll help.
Yeah. It's like a lot of these people get to kind of live, live through these kids and have their own type of soccer experience, even if it's not particularly as a player.
I think it's pride, man. It's pride where, I'm from Fresno, or I'm the Valley, right? Like Danny Trejo just got signed. A lot of people are like, man, hey, support Danny Trejo. Good job. You're LAFC, big club, man, an amazing club. And you're like, man, all you could do is just be proud that he's from the Central Valley, man. Yeah. And that, again, speaks miles. You got to start looking. You got to start looking here, like, man, in these small rural areas.
From the cuts, right? Like where people, small town.
Yeah, Mendota.
You know what I mean? Small town. And it's like, there's an opportunity for everybody now. It really is. And you're starting to see like a lot more of these things happen.
And that's why a lot of alumni now that see with the project that you guys are doing, it's like, right, well, Fresno Fuego came, it got to a point where it got into the stadium, and then from there, getting it bought out by a USL championship team, people thought that, man, all of us, now we have a professional team. Now we got people chanting. Now we got people with smoke bombs, with all this stuff, man, finally, right?
Yep.
And that goes away, Yeah. And you as an alumni, you get pissed, man, because you remember the times where you go play at Central, the old high school, and there's pigs oinking right next to the field, and all the efforts that people, like the Alvarez brothers that put the time and effort into this club, and you're going to take it away. So it was just like a kind of slap him in the face, And so now that you guys are coming in and embracing the community, embracing the heritage and the population that does play soccer here in the Valley is huge, and especially people with those kids in the rural area, man, that really don't have the circumstance to play at a club or something, So I think that's where, when we talk about grassroots, right, that's where there's a gray or a disconnect in the community because there's no financial help, at home.
Yeah, and it's it's what there's just so many things that you said that we could kind of dissect, but it's like some of those. It was
like your first question in our last interview.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. It was deep.
It's a deep question.
Hey, by the way, what's your social security number? What's your first name? Hey, Chris, I don't think we know each other like that.
No, but like, do you think that some of those reasons that you talk about, where we're not recruiting from all these areas, there isn't really resources, some of even the new rules and regulations and all the stuff you talk about, is that some of what you think is separating this country from others that are competing at the highest level?
We could just say a simple thing. There's no promotion relegation system, right? What? Just because you have money, you're going to get a franchise? right? You could buy yourself in, basically.
Wow, that's a good.
There should be incentives if you want to be in the league, right? If you want to be in the league, be the best team, be the top teams. Don't get relegated, right? So that's one of the reasons why. And also too, it's tough when it's a business, and I understand both sides of clubs, right? You gotta make a living.
Put enough butts and seats to keep the players on the field,
man.
And it's
it is.
That's one of the challenging parts, and I'm a supporter of promotion relegation. For sure. I think it's incredible. I think it's a way for a city like ours to have a major league team because they earned it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And the pride that is created in that idea is incredible. And I'm a believer in that. They've got 100 years on us in most of these countries, right?
Exactly.
Potentially somewhere in that range or more. And the ability for them to have established clubs with huge fan bases, big corporate sponsorships, and really thriving as businesses with good owners, where there's not teams folding and there's not all these ins and outs, right? It's established, it's professional. Then I think is when you really can get to that point where promotion relegation makes a ton of sense because everyone's got the capability to do it. If they were to do that here right now, there's a lot of teams that could not compete at the MLS level on many different fronts, not just on the field. So it is interesting, and you got to look at all perspectives when you kind of get into that. But I think a lot of these rules and regulations that are prohibiting our kids from getting the highest level of training and development is what's holding us back.
But because one thing too, Chris, you can't teach talent, man. You can't teach talent.
But you can't say in a country of nearly 350 million people that the talent isn't here.
For sure, exactly. But it takes one person to not follow that trend or get caught up into that to go find something like that, Us in soccer, man, if I'm a recruiter, right? If I'm going to recruit something, I don't want to find someone that everybody knew, right? I want to go find someone that no one knows. Someone that, I'm going to drive 2 hours to potentially watch a horrible game, but I found one player, So, and he doesn't have the chance, or he doesn't, see, in college game, right, we can't go over there and pick him up and drive,
That's what people were thinking about Danny.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he plays in Mendota. It's a small town. The competition is not where it should be, blah, 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 blah.
And
how they kind of discredited him.
Yeah, but how did he get mainstream? All of a sudden he's going to break a state record, right?
Yeah.
So then everybody started, or actually it was probably the year before, if I can remember. This is probably not accurate, but Jaime was coaching a Alliance team, and I think Danny Trejo was on that team, and it was like his junior or sophomore year. So I heard about him, I heard about him, and then next, senior year, right?
Just goes off.
Okay, the reason why I heard it because that spring in 2017, that's when I joined Fresno City College, and so we went to that high school. Yeah,
so we went saw him play in high school.
Yeah, I saw. Well, he got hurt his senior year, I believe, and he went to that All-Star in Lindsay, I believe, the All-Star game, and that's when I kind of saw him. He, you could see he was crafty, but he was still a little hurt. So you could kind of see the first intention, right? Because a reaction, you start seeing reactions when kids are on the field. You kind of see their first reaction and their intent, and that's when you're like, okay, he got some potential, but he's just raw,
So that's the level of detail you as a scout and a recruiter are going to look for when you're looking at these young players.
And also too, and maybe what he does without the ball. I want to see how he moves, how he covers, how ground if he's a midfielder, how he covers angles, right? When because not everybody's at the same level in high school, so you got to see those details, and see how he's playing and how he's kind of reacting to the game.
Are there any other up and comers that you see that are guys that can play?
Yeah, there is a
major
couple.
league level guys.
There is a couple, man. Well, one of them, he's from Kerman, and we just helped. Actually, it was last year. We helped him go to Cal State Fullerton with George Coons. And that's Sebastian, and he's been in the Valley. He played, I think, for Jeremy and Jacob Ice, with Odyssey.
This is the one that went over to Kansas City, right?
Yeah, exactly. When Kansas City, and actually played against Fresno FC here in Fresno.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, with what was it? Swope.
Swope Park. Yeah, he was with there. Yeah, he was a a development player, so I think he was in their academy. So he got to play in USL Championship without losing eligibility. In his,
so I think his academy contract or what it was kind of completed, and I ran into his dad at a shout out to Eddie Gonzalez and Milton Blanco, that the summer camp, their kind of recruitment camp that they developed at the stadium.
I thought you were talking about Don Tacha.
Oh yeah,
the taco place. I'm like, hey, Eddie, hook it up.
Get those. What are they? Those fries or whatever they.
Oh, do they? I haven't had them. They're good.
They're really good. But so I ran into him there, and then we started talking, and he was just like, man, I have a hard decision, you know. And Jesus, sorry for kind of talking about our conversation, right? But
the inner worlds of recruiting.
Yeah, right. So he's like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make the decision of going professional or going to school. Mm-hmm. You know, we want him to go to school. So like, all right, well, let me call a couple friends, you know, and you know, I called a couple. I called one school and then I called another, and that's how it happened, man.
It's crazy how personal. Like it's nuts. It's like everybody plays Madden and they're like free agent.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? And
and then also too, man, it's
different. It's different. It's all personal communications. It's like
and for that, I don't want anything in return or need anything in return.
But it's cool.
I just want to see that person come out of here, out of Fresno, and do some good stuff, man.
Yeah,
do
for
some
sure.
Good shit, play some ball.
So that's a good one right there, because think about it, guys. Like the difference between big cities is that personal connection. The Fuego and the city of Fresno. Yeah. It's a personal connection. That's how it works here locally. Yeah. Different that, you know, in New York or LA and stuff like that doesn't work that way at all.
Yeah, it's more. So I've worked professionally in LA and the Bay Area in professional sports, and man, it's so much more transactional. It's just like everything's kind of a transaction. Sure. That's how thoughts are processed. That's how interactions are you know, and it's not like all
Seattle
like that.
Sounders, man. I went to a game one time, and everybody, it was just too many people to develop a personal relationship. In my thoughts, I'm like, dude, there's literally like 42,000 people in this stadium right now in pubs, walking around, making it. It's a thing, right? It's a thing on a Sunday, and everybody supports.
It's incredible. And then, their marches,
literally, they literally have. I think it's the same amount as the Seahawks.
Yeah, so the Seahawks open up their upper deck, and usually the Sounders don't, but they have a large amount of people that go there every week. Yeah, it's impressive.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
and so that's where I feel like when you take pride in a smaller community like Fresno is, I think that stadium is gonna freaking rock, man. It's gonna. You feel the vibration, dude. You feel the chants, and I think even on the chant side, man, everybody should just be as one, man. Just freaking chant for something. That. You know, it would be amazing, dude, to have that place rumble and make it a tough place to play if you're an opponent, right?
No doubt.
Everybody comes in.
I mean, it's got to be scrappy. It's got to be, you know what I mean? It's got to be who we are, and that's the type, you know, of crowd that we want to have. That makes the other team feel uncomfortable, you know, and already Fresno home field advantage.
I would say Fresno Fuego back in the day it was known as they even one year, man, they named us the Fresno Thugs, man.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so it was like 2007, 2006, 8 around there. It's just the Fresno Thugs, like these
there's
guys
just a bunch of guys
bullies,
that are on there. It's crazy. I mean,
but it was good, right?
You want to be able to do some a little bit of intimidation when someone's gonna play you.
It is what it is, dude. If you don't like it, then play
somewhere else.
Baseball.
So this guy, you were a number 6.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, you could tell by the personality, right? Probably the most yellow cards on the team.
Hey, I would get yellow cards strategically. So I would say like, hey, we're gonna play a down team, like team that's not the best.
I got there late to the stadium and I gave myself a yellow card and told the coach, all right, I'm good now. I can play straight.
I did my part.
No. It was more like, hey, okay. We got 5 games, right? So usually I use 5 games. You would sit out a game. So I was like, man, the 5th game, or my 5th yellow card after this is probably gonna be against that team. So I'll sit out against that team, and then the next I'm refreshed, you know. I'm out right, no more yellow cards, so it was good, man.
Yeah. So you'd strategically give yourself an off day.
Not an off day. It was more like. I want to play the good games, you know.
Yeah.
I want to play against like Ventura County Fusion. I want to play against
Smart man.
Well, Tucson in the before.
Tucson was legit.
Yeah. Tucson was good.
Hey, and you know what's cool is that Tucson's in the league. Really Tucson's in the league that we're playing in.
Nah, it was a tough. I remember we played them here, and then we played them over there in Tucson. It was scorching hot. It's a tough place to play over there.
Yeah,
man.
they were always a solid team too. Rick Shantz, the guy that was the coach there, is with Phoenix now.
Serious?
Yeah, he's done a good job. He's done a really good job. He had a little bit of something last year, but but he's done a really good job over the last couple of years.
Man.
And they came from Tucson, so I sense that's a chance that it might be
the rivalry, right?
Yeah, a little bit of a rivalry. Yeah,
I think so. And it was funny. I only played against them one year, and that year it got to like a quick rivalry after we beat them here.
Yeah. Well, they were always
Fresno.
the champs of their part of the bracket.
For sure. I remember that it was, I think it was the 2012 year they came in. And then it was a 2-1 game. We beat them with that late goal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Always in playoffs?
Yeah. No, it was a regular season yeah. That was the Cinco de Mayo game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's where it started.
So Ramon Mendoza, we call him Mendo. Our boy Mendo made sure to send us a little message that says he was part of that setup.
He was, dude. You know, it's funny.
Mendo?
Yeah, Mendo, he was, dude. Because Mendo would come into the locker room, and then Capi was our
captain.
No, Capi was our coach. He became our coach.
Oh, Capi.
Yeah, okay, so I would talk to Capi. We're still, we got to play with each other, and at the later times of his career. And we were still close, still kind of teammates, transitioning to a coach, right. So it was Cinco de Mayo, and I'm Salvadorian, so I don't celebrate that, but I have a lot of Mexican friends that we grew up, I would say more like I speak more like a Mexican than I would like a Salvadorian, so I
had a papusa today.
Did you?
Yeah, it's good. Is that how you say it?
No, popusa.
Yeah.
Popusa.
Yeah. Those are bomb.
Zamoras.
Papusa sounds like something else.
No.
That's why Nini was about to laugh. He was about to laugh. Yeah.
No. Hey, man. Easy.
No.
Popusa.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so you're El Salvadorian.
Yeah, so Cinco de Mayo, and then Capi goes, hey, Mendo told me to give this to you if you score, right? And I'm going to take it out to the bench. So he took it out, and then I think we were tied 1-1, like the 86th minute, 87th minute, and then I just hit one, and it was a goal. So,
cracked it, right?
Yeah, and but it was 2-1, so that's when Tucson became like a big rival.
So that was, that's one of the more iconic goals in Fuego history, to be honest.
Well, their goalkeeper, the reason why it became a rivalry, their goalkeeper and their like market media guy and their coach, they made a video. They kind of made fun of me, man. They were like, they put a shirt on they put a shirt on a chunky dude. I was like, all right, I get it. That's cool. I'll wear it.
I remember seeing that video. Dude. I saw that video. I was like, that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, man. Hey. So that's what.
So we got a little history. You're saying.
Yeah. So this guy, man, he was acting cocky. He's standing on top of the 18. I was like, all right, motherfucker, keep coming. And then I told Scott Alger, I was like, man, this guy's cheating, man. He's like a slap in the face for a midfielder,
Yeah.
It's like, all right, but I just tried it and closed my eyes and hit it.
There you go. Sometimes that's all you need, right?
Yeah. Take your shot.
As long as it's on the stat sheet, that's all that matters, man. Yeah, so it was good. It was a good experience,
and you got to play somewhere outside of Fresno too, right? A couple different places
for sure. And those experiences, man, they were beautiful, dude. But
where'd you get to play at?
So I played in El Salvador. So I played with Chalate FC, and then when they were first division, and then they came down to second. So I transitioned with them, and then I just had like a short stint with the Charlotte Eagles. So it was good. It was a short one, but I got hurt, and I just had a lot of injuries in college, and so it started piling up.
I mean, shoot, you were a pro.
Yeah. It was a short one, but
there's so many people out there. Even we've had on this interview before, and Jaime and talking about his experience. You know, like having that passion and desire to want to be a pro, and so getting that opportunity to achieve one of your dreams, like that's pretty special. Yeah, no, it was, and the time that I was in El Salvador kind of woke me up to where it was a professional thing, right? That you had to take care of your body, you had to sleep well, you had to eat well,
And it was different, man. It was different than, you had to wake up and go to training, right? That was work. And then the whole day you got to find out what do you do? Am I going to read a book? What, am I going to get religious? You start finding yourself, man. So, you had to find time to not do things that you shouldn't be doing.
So did those ever come up?
Yeah, man. So I tried my hardest, and I stayed straight, man. And we would swim, just hang out, and I was roommates with a shout out to Pito Hernandez. Hey man, LeBron, man, he's freaking amazing, dude.
James?
LeBron. He's as big as LeBron James. Okay. I told Fresno FC to sign him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. He should have signed him. Dude, 6'3" forward, man, big, good with his feet, goal scorer.
Yeah.
Just wanted a little bit.
We would probably have to change his name though if he came through over here.
Man, keep it. You gotta wear it.
I'll just pop in.
Hey,
Tico.
yeah, something else.
Tico James.
Pito. Yeah, we're gonna get canceled by that.
Metió el gol.
We might have to cut this story.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyways, all right, Nini, let's wrap it up with this, brother, and then it'll be part 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
We haven't even.
We realize that you have to be part of the podcast every once in a while, bro.
You're part of this.
It's just gonna take to be continued every time.
What is what's the main thing? What word of recommendation would you give a lot of these players who are up and coming or who are college players that want to get into the USL or to become a pro in a different country or in this country? What would you say to them?
I said first, get off your phones, man. Right? Get off your phones. Stop taking it. And trust me, man, I'm one of the guys, man, that I get on my phone a lot more than I should, but it shouldn't appear that you're training, right? It should be your training. Mm-hmm. You should train hard, man. You should, you gotta
say that again.
Because
you gotta say that again, though. Yeah. Say that again, clear. Okay.
Yeah,
that was a great quote.
You shouldn't. It shouldn't appear that you're training. You should be training.
Good.
A lot of people are kind of, hey, I'm training today. Look at it. Put it on social media.
Right.
Dude, that's wasting time. Why aren't you touching the ball that's in front of the phone? So I think it's more of that. And there's some people here that kind of that have that tradition still, just you got to work in silence, dude. So I think that was probably for me when I did that kind of took me to the next level. Mm-hmm. When you're running on your own, you're training on your own, you're kind of just focused, and you train with the best people that you can train with, and their battles and their I remember when we would train with that nucleus with Amaury, Pablo, Milton, Fabricio, Gaston, all those guys, man, and half the time we ended up fighting and arguing, and then, hey guys, are we meeting tomorrow again at 9 a.m.?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Right.
So it's that, that you got to push each other. You got to train as hard as you can, man. So if you're saying it, you got to believe it and you got to do it, So I think that's probably the best thing that a young player can do if they really want to become a professional soccer player. So
yeah, that's good.
Well said.
Yep. And then also too, shout out to Fresno City College soccer, man. Eric Solberg is one of the best guys. Yeah, happy birthday. It was his birthday just probably like 2 to 3 days ago. And I'll tell you one thing, man. He's a great manager, man. Manager, coach, friend, really good guy, and that's why he's been successful in this past 3 to 4 years, man. So he's doing a really good job at Fresno City College.
I mean, that whole university is impressive when it comes to athletics, right? And shout out to all the coaches and the AD out there. Just met with him last week. Good guy.
Yeah, for sure.
He is. Somebody leading that department. It's good to see.
Yeah, for sure. Derek Johnson. He's new. He's from the East Coast, and I think with all the coaches there and the tradition and of winning, right, is gonna help them, kind of support. But with that comes conflict. Let's not BS. But I think it's just resolutions, man. After that, everybody's human, man, and it happens everywhere.
It is, but they still perform from the outside in at the top of their game, and it's one of the best junior colleges in.
But
I think
it's a good thing. Something good's gonna happen after all this all this craziness, man. It's tough, dude, because there's so many regulations, even, you know, with this whole COVID stuff, that it makes it difficult on everyone, you know, on everyone. So, man, shout out to everybody that's a part of, you know, getting the kids on the field. So that's because that's what it's about. It's about getting back to play.
Let's get back. Let's get back safely, and let's get back soon. And let's get back in here.
Let's
get back up in here pretty soon.
Yeah, let's go. Call it a wrap.
All right, guys.
All right, thank you for having me, Chris.